Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are finally doing the updated thoughts on XX Revolution. I of course tested the brand I think a month or so ago, and I just kind of gave you my first impressions on the brand, but now I've been trying the products for the past month and a half. I kind of have solid opinions on the products. I'm wearing it all on my face right now of course, but also some new products because I picked up their single bronzers and single blushes that I didn't know they did in my last video, so that's in this video now, as well as the big £66 colourful palette. Today's video is sponsored by Ana Luisa, and I'm here to share with you guys their gorgeous jewelry pieces. I have the Ava layered necklace on right here, as well as the Chloe ring and the Aquarius earrings. They're such gorgeous, elegant jewelry pieces and I am obsessed. Even though this is a layered necklace, they're not joined together, so you can wear, you know, just one necklace, two necklaces, or all three if you want to, because they are separate. When you get your jewelry, they come in this gorgeous bag and they're so well presented. They're tarnish free as well, amazing quality. They're not going to start turning color on you. They're also aiming to have a zero carbon footprint by the end of 2020 and continue that for many years. So they're definitely a brand that cares about the world and the earth, which is amazing. They're literally recycling materials where possible to create timeless, tarnish free jewelry, and I absolutely love what they stand for. But also their jewelry is really cute. They have jewelry starting at $39, which is really good for the materials that they make their jewelry out of. They're not plastic or cheap materials, and like I said, they're tarnish free and long lasting pieces, so definitely check out their website. It will be linked in my description box. They've also given me a discount code Tammi10 will get you 10% off your order, so make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the video so I can give you my updated thoughts on XX Revolution. Okay guys, so starting off with primers, so we have the Hydra Quench Bomb Primer. This is meant to be a hydrating, moisturizing primer. However, I find that every time I use this, it kind of sinks into the skin nicely. It feels nice when you're applying it, but after 5 minutes or so, it starts to feel like it's drying out my face almost. In my opinion, it's just not worth the price point of £15. I don't feel like it's hydrating enough. If you have dry skin, this will not work for you. It's not hydrating unless you use a very thick moisturizer underneath. But even then, I feel like this possibly could dry you out. I don't know what it is, but it just makes my face feel a little bit tight after I've used it. The next primer I have is the Cloud Complexion Primer. I did apply the Hydra Quench Bomb already, but this one I haven't applied, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on my face. Once again, this feels very nice to apply. It has a very nice, interesting, lightweight, cloudy type of texture, but I don't notice it like blurring wow, I can't talk. I don't notice a big major blur on my skin, especially when it's compared to like my other primers that I absolutely love in my collection. This one just doesn't do much. Now the good thing is, doing this update video after they've launched, I have picked up a few extra bits that I didn't have in the first video. So Revolution were kind enough to send me over a voucher to spend on the website, so I did pick up a few extra bits. I have another primer here. This one I haven't used. This is called the Quick Fix Mattifying Primer. I don't think I need another primer, but we're gonna go ahead and use it anyway because I haven't tried this out and I want to test it. So this one is meant to be an instant retouch for a perfect matte base. I do like either mattifying or pore blurring primer, so this hopefully might work for me. And I'm just gonna, oh, it's very creamy. Just gonna go ahead and put that on my T-zone kind of area, everywhere I get oily throughout the day. I'm gonna give this a few minutes to like settle in and see if it mattifies my face. Okay, you know what? This one seems to be doing what it claims to be. It's taken all of the shine out of my face and it does look pretty matte overall, and it feels really nice on the face. So this one feels pretty nice. I will keep testing it out, but so far, first impressions, I like it more than the other two just because it does what it claims to do. Now we're gonna move on to foundation. So of course, okay, the first thing, I used the Glow foundation like 2 or 3 times and I don't like it, guys. It's just way too glowy, way too dewy for my skin type. This one dries down matte, lasts all day, but I do find that when you go in with a little bit of product, it doesn't spread as easily. So one day I wanted to go in with a very light kind of layer of it just because I wasn't doing much, but I wanted like a nice coverage. So I went in with one pump rather than like a full coverage type of day. I went in with one pump, kind of spread it all over my face, and it was kind of patchy in areas. areas. So some areas had full coverage, some areas didn't, and it just looked a bit weird. So I feel like with this foundation, it's all or nothing. You better go in with like your full coverage, get the foundation all over your skin so it looks nice and even, because if you try to do like a nice lightweight layer, it just looks a bit patchy and it dries down matte and it just didn't look great. Some days I didn't set it, some days I did set it. The days that I set it, it of course stayed matte longer, but the days that I didn't set it, it did go a little bit dewy but still not too oily looking and slick looking. It was still a very nice foundation finish on me. So I have started mixing these two shades just because 13.5 is a little bit too dark and then 12.5 is too light, and then 13 in the middle is very orange tone. So these undertones are perfect, but I just need to mix them. Wow, I feel like I've been talking for ages, but I'm just gonna go ahead and take a pump of each shade and I'm just gonna spread that all over my face. To me, it's a very lightweight foundation, depending on how many pumps you go in with, of course, because I only tend to take like 1 or 2 pumps and spread it all over. I feel like it's pretty lightweight for the coverage that you're getting, very lightweight on the face. So overall, if you're asking me if this foundation is worth it, I feel like if you have oily skin or combination skin and you have blemishes to cover, you want something full coverage but lightweight, long lasting, this is definitely the foundation for you. Okay, now moving on to eyeshadow, they have another big 66 pan palette, but this one is the colorful version. So of course in my last video I used a neutral version and I had no idea they had this colorful rainbow version. This one is more up my street in terms of color selection. I love the variations that you get in here, colorfuls, but you also get tons of neutrals in here as well. So like I said, I like big palettes when you have variations, not big palettes that are like the same shade. I don't even know what look I'm gonna do today, guys. I'm not gonna do something too hard. I don't feel like going all out today, but I'm gonna start off by priming my eyes with the ABH eye primer. So this big palette is £28, which I think possibly might be the most expensive palette that Revolution do, but then again it does have 66 shades, so I suppose if you divide it up, each shade is just like super cheap. I must say some of the prices when they did launch, well, I was a bit surprised by some of the prices. For example, the liquid eyeshadow that I didn't really like the formula of, they're like £10 and they're so small, guys. I was really surprised. And the pigment pots, really small pigments, and I feel like they were £10 or £12 as well. So really some of the prices I was really shocked by. And the little eyeshadow kind of what were they called? I'm gonna put a picture of it here. I think they were like £20. I'm gonna start with this red shade here. Okay, come through pigment. I'm just winging it, guys. I have no idea what I'm doing today. Based on the last palette that I tried, the eyeshadow formulation is really nice. They do blend and like diffuse really nicely. So next I'm going to take the yellow in the palette, and I think I'm going to put that on the inner half of my eye. So right on the inner corner crease area. That's nice pigmentation. Gonna dip into a little bit of this orange here and just run that right on the edge of the red and in the middle right here. There's so many shimmers in here, I don't even know what I want to go for. I think I'm gonna start off with the red shimmer here on the outer corner. So kind of here, I might do a gradient with shimmers. Then I think for the center of the eye, I'm going to go into this big gold pan here and put that. Ooh, wow, that's a nice shade. And then right on the inner corner, something about this silver is really calling me, and silvers rarely ever call me. So I'm going to take a little bit of it. I don't know, because it's so icy and this look is so warm. We're just going to try it anyway. Ooh. Wow, I felt like this was going to be pigmented, and it is. Look at this silver. So one dip has just done both of my eyes, like insane, and it goes pretty well actually. So when I first used this concealer in the video, I really liked it. The coverage was nice and like everything about it was really good. However, the more I've used it, I just feel like I don't love it. It's a good concealer, I like it, I still would use it, but it's not my top favorite, especially like not my top favorite from Revolution. I find myself gravitating more towards their Infinite concealer, Conceal and Define Infinite, that has more coverage to me and it dries down more for my skin skin type, which is oily. This is very hydrating but not too hydrating, which is why it's still a good concealer. So I'm taking the shade CX12. I like the applicator of this concealer, and don't get me wrong, I do like the concealer. It's just a little bit more hydrating than I would like, and I feel like it sinks into that one crease I have underneath my eyes more than their Infinite concealer. So I still would prefer the Infinite concealer over this one, just for the simple fact that it is really hydrating and the concealer coverage is not as high as the Infinite concealer. So it's all about preference, guys. Some people might really like the coverage of this concealer, and it's not bad. Like I keep saying, I don't hate it, but if I had to just pick one concealer up from Revolution, it would most likely be the Infinite concealer. That's my top favorite that they do, because the coverage is insane, dries down matte, like doesn't crease on me. This one I feel like really grabs to that one crease underneath my eyes. I could see a lot of people liking this concealer because the coverage is great and it's not too dry underneath the eyes. It has nice hyaluronic acid and I think vitamin E inside of it, so I could see a lot of people liking the formula of this concealer. But for me, my favorite, it's not my favorite. So I don't have a powder from XX Revolution. I'm just going to go in with my Beauty Bakery flower powder in translucent and gently set underneath my eyes. I'm using brushes because my sponge is dry. I forgot to wet it as usual, and I don't like wetting it with setting spray. I've tried that a few times and it doesn't get as big and poofy as I like, so yeah. But I'm not going to set most of my face because, like I said, I don't feel like this foundation needs major setting. It's kind of self-setting itself. It looks like none of this is set, but it looks matte, so I kind of just set my oily areas and underneath my eyes to help this concealer not crease as much. Now for cheek products, I tried the Dimension face palette in my last video, and this one is just too dark for me. I've probably used it twice since I filmed that video, and it's just too dark. All of the products except for the blusher, the contour and the highlighter are just not for my skin tone, so I don't find myself reaching for this face palette. However, they did come out with bronzers and single blushes that I didn't know about in my last video, so now I picked these up. I got the XX Bronze Matte Bronzer in the shade Vestige, I think that's how you say it. This one right here, packaging is gorgeous, and this is the shade. Looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to take some of it. I don't know how pigmented it is. I'm just going to take a little bit right into the hollows. It's nice. It's blending out really nice, and it's good. Yeah, that's working really nicely for my skin tone. Picked up these two orangey shades. They have the shade Cliche and Jaded. Jaded looks to be a little bit darker than Cliche, so let's open these up. So this one is in the pink packaging, and the first shade I have here is Jaded. Ooh, this looks gorgeous. This is right up my street. And the next one is Cliche. Ooh, this one looks nice too. It's just a little bit lighter, whereas the Jaded one is a little bit more reddish orange. I think I'm gonna go for Cliche just because it's a little bit brighter and it might go with my eye look a little bit more. Oh, that is gorgeous. I love orangey blushes, to be honest with you, so I knew I was gonna love this. But yeah, really nice. Blends out really nice as well. Shows up beautifully on my skin. Oh, this is a nice color. Now, highlighter. Being honest with you guys, I have not touched this since the day that I filmed with it, just because it was so glittery and I prefer more subtle skin-like glows. But I've seen people using different shades of this and their highlighters don't look as glittery, which leads me to believe that possibly the shade that I have is glittery formula. So this is a swatch of Frequency, and can you guys see those micro glitters in there? Like, it's so glittery. So I possibly think the shade that I got is just the glittery formula, and they do also have kind of more highlighty formulas in there, but this one is definitely glitter. Let me put a little bit and see. Yeah, it's literally just glitter, guys. Like, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm gonna try to blend this away. I'm gonna finish up my lower lash line with the same orangey red shades that I used in the crease. So starting with the orange, buffing that out. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Stop the Clock Rejuvenating Fixing Mist. I can't remember my thoughts on this. I like the mister. Yeah, it just gives your makeup a nice kind of glow. If you've over powdered and you want the powders to kind of sink in, this would be a good setting spray. So moving on to lips, I'm gonna go ahead and I picked up these two glosses. So this is Ticket, kind of looks a bit pinky than it did on the website. They both look a bit more pinky than I was expecting. I was kind of hoping they would be more caramel type of lip glosses. We're gonna try it anyway. I'm gonna start with Glory lip liner. Okay, so now my lips are lined. I'm gonna take the shade Ticket. Oh, this feels very thick. It's very thick. It's not really lip gloss to me. It kind of feels like a thick cream lipstick in a liquid form. I don't love it. It might be the shade. I feel like if this was in my caramel beigey type of nude shade, I might like it a bit more, but I don't really like the pinky shade on me. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Lime Crime Wet Cherry lip gloss in the shade Unripe Cherry, which is this gorgeous kind of orangey peachy color. I feel like this is gonna go with the look perfectly. Yeah, that's gorgeous. This is the shade that I thought I was gonna get, but anyway. So I'm gonna quickly throw my lashes on. These are the Makeup by Tammi lashes, available on makeupbytammi.com for only £5. They're on sale because I'm changing the packaging, but I've used them like 5 times, so please do not judge how they look, but look how wispy and fluffy and fluttery they are. They are 3D faux mink lashes, so they have like the mink effect, but they're made out of synthetic material, so it's vegan and cruelty free. But yeah, I'm gonna apply these and I'll come right back to you. Okay guys, and I'm back. So lashes are on and this is the final look. What do you think? I'm loving this like summertime vibe, sunset look. Overall, I really like the brand and I like, you know, the products that they've come out with quality wise. Most of it I really like, but there are some products in this line that when they run out, I'm not gonna rush out and go repurchase. For example, the primers and the concealer. But based on my month and a half of trying this brand, my go-to that I recommend from this is definitely the foundation, the blushes, the bronzer, the eyeshadow palette. If you do want 66 colorful shades, it is very good quality, and possibly the setting spray as well, because it does do what it claims to do, which is hydrate and set the face. So those are my top products that I would recommend from the line, but there's definitely products that I would say you can live without, you can skip. For example, the primers. The concealer is not a skip from me, but like if it wasn't in my collection, I wouldn't miss it because I have the Infinite Concealer. The liquid eyeshadow, the pigment pots, those are all skippable products because for the price you can find better alternatives on the market. So those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts. What did you grab from the launch, if you grabbed anything, and what are you loving, what are you not liking? And yeah, let me know all of that stuff down below. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa jewelry. They have some really cute pieces like this ring and this layered necklace and these earrings. Definitely click the link down in my description box and use my code to get some money off, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.